44 on your Wednesday. Welcome back. President Donald Trump threatening a triple-digit tariff hike on Chinese imports by November the 1st. The renewed U.S.-China trade war, tariffs, port fees, new restrictions, they're all making waves in global markets once again. You saw the dip on Friday. It has since rebounded, but financial advisor Clausen from Burns Financial is here to analyze exactly how much of a threat this actually is to your wallet, especially the retiree population. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so this ongoing fight that has started in March, and it continues to have these, ebb and flow peaks, if you will. What does the latest one mean for if you're a retiree, if you're just somebody trying to buy something that China makes?
Well, and it really is, like you said, it's been starting since March. They've been going back and forth, tit for tat, and this latest one is, China started to go with restricting some rare earth materials, things that we use for cars, phones, like things that we use a lot, in the United States. And on top of that, Trump put 100% tariff, back to China.
In reaction to that.
Exactly.
Because that's where it can really hurt us. 80% of what we make in this country is using things that come from China. Yeah,
absolutely. And the way that's going to affect, retirees is ultimately if we start with the market. Market does not like anytime you talk about tariffs, that's going to create some volatility. We saw Friday, almost a 3% dip in the market, but then right on Monday, bounced back immediately. So as long as the market doesn't feel like these are permanent tariffs, then it's more of a volatility thing. But if they feel that it's going to be, well, that could be a really big deal.
When do you start worrying in your position?
There is a meeting later this month, maybe beginning of next month, where Trump is supposed to go and see, go to China and talk about these tariffs, and hopefully they will settle it at that point. Some of Trump's comments recently was, well, maybe I don't even need to go. That's not good. The market is certainly not going to like that. But if this can be settled in the next month or two, I wouldn't worry so much about it, but like I said, if it becomes permanent, that's going to have a trickling down effect on all stocks.
Christian, is there a magic number that both sides would be happy with? Have they ever come to enough of a consensus that maybe you can predict what will happen at this meeting as a stock analyst?
Well, like we mentioned, China has had tariffs against us for the last 15, 20 years. Okay, so what Trump is going, where we had no tariffs against them and they had all the tariffs against us. And what Trump is trying to do now is make it more of a fair trade. So he's not expecting China to reduce tariffs down to zero, but he is wanting it to come down from, I think it was 75, 80% before. And maybe if that can come down to 20 or 30, that would be a little bit more of a fair trade at least for us.
Okay, so if you are somebody that is watching the ups and downs and you don't have this perspective, what do you tell people to do with their stocks at the moment?
You just have to make sure you have a balanced, diversified portfolio. And I think this volatility creates a lot of opportunities. So having a little bit of cash on the side to be able to buy these stocks on sale.
When they're low,
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Always an interesting conversation. Christian Clausen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Let's send it over to meteorologist Zach Fradella now with your Weather Authority forecast. How's it looking for the weekend, my friend?